I would imagine Wolverine smells like chocolates and coffee.
I think at times he probably does.
And cigars.
And beer.
And beer. Here we go again, everybody. Welcome back to Comic Books and Cold Ones. We are your favorite beer podcast for the comic book problem. Here we read all things comic books and drink all things beer. My name is Kay Mack. I am joined, of course, by the best co-host ever. He's looking very sexy today with his short black hair. It is Yakio himself. Hey, lady, how you doing?
It's Yakiko.
Yakiko.
I unfortunately could not come up with a good name for Camogan today, but I will try it again another time.
It's not a story that really leads to good nicknames, to be honest.
But we don't have those nicknames today because we're doing something special today. Because everybody, welcome to Masterpiece Comics Book Theater once again,
yes.
And I am one part of your host here. I am Sir Yexington, man of Comic Sans letters from the Advanced Institute of Funny Book Studies, the AIO FBS. And I'm always as joined by my astute scholar here, Lord K. Mac III of Lincolnshire, from the Royal Society of Comics and Sundries. Pip, pip.
Tut, tut, sir.
Welcome.
Yakioington. That doesn't work. I can't do it. I can't
Sir
get Yakio into
Yakioington.
Oh, the Royal Society of Comics and Sundries is doing well. It's doing very well.
You've lived through no scandals this year, hopefully.
No.
And then coming out clean on the other side, despite being a member of the royal family of comic books.
Of comic books, yes. Nothing else.
But this is where we get not so serious, but a little bit serial, because it's an oral web show where we debate all things graphic novels and imbibe all things barley brews. And if you like what you're hearing today, you can email us at cbcopodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter X at cbco_podcast, or like us on Instagram with comicbooks_cold ones.
You can do all those things, and you should. And good job hitting all those.
Yes.
It's not easy. It's not easy. We do have a shout out today. We have a new download for our last episode, which was the Boogity Books and Beertober DC's Ghosts, featuring Dr. 13 the Ghostbreaker, and they loved it, or the listener loved it, in raising fists in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, which does theme nicely with our show today. And it also just so happens to theme nicely because that's a place we've actually both been.
Yes,
Hooray.
We recently went to Toronto this past summer and did Torontober Beers, a Torontober beer tour, or is an Ontober beer tour for Ontario. I don't know.
Yeah,
or
that sounds better.
Canada beer tour. Where we hit up at least 5 breweries there. All very good. Some different, ranging up and down. My favorite was Collective Arts.
Yes.
They don't have, it's not the brewery there, but it's their outpost where, they have all their beers on tap from the brewery, and lots of funky art and cool things going on. And we got to try some really good beers. I believe I had a Bière de Garde there, some funky IPAs, and a really good porter.
Yeah. I can't remember at all what I had, but I liked them all. The other one we went to that I really liked was Godspeed Brewing.
Yes.
They were more, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, they were more Eastern European style beers at Godspeed.
Yeah, they were very, very Prague-based, lagery based. That's their thing. They're very Czech lagery, middle continent lagers. And they had 3 different types of the different Czech lagers that you can have: the Tmave, another amber one, and then the classic Pilsner, as well as a variety of other things going for. And we were with other people, and they probably all liked Left Field Brewing the best, not being beer nerds like us.
Yeah.
But they're just a down home good old brewery in an industrial park themed on baseball, which was apropos for Toronto this year, doing so well with the Blue Jays and everything. Um,
Yeah, and that brewery had cool logo, cool merch. Although merch, I think, was so cool that they just don't have any left.
yes, and when the
Or
Jays went on their run, I think
yeah,
people started buying up all the merch. So if you're in Toronto, go to Left Field Brewing and steal some merch and resell it on the black market because you'll
oh
make a
yeah,
couple bucks.
yeah. There's none left if you can find some. But yeah,
And
Toronto's a fun town. We go ahead. What were you going to say? You
oh,
had
I'd
something
say,
for
and
that.
speaking of seedy underworld, world traveling type things, that's what we'll be covering today in our Masterpiece Comics Book Theater, where we review and discuss the miniseries from 1982, Wolverine.
Yeah, classic. I had you ever read it before this?
I had read it before a while ago.
Same here. Same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was looking forward to reading this and again and discussing it, of course. But before we do that, there is one very important thing that must be done.
Yes. And unlike our normal Masterpiece Comics Book Theater, where we also try to drink really fancy beers to go along with things, since we're covering Logan, the lowest of brow
Hmm.
heroes, and a beers from drinking swilling man, we're going with regular brews here today,
Yeah.
themed on the topic of the Wolverine, but not the
Yeah.
fancy bottles that we normally do, but still good
No.
beers all around.
Yeah. No tropic pressure this time for a Wolverine show. So what did you bring? I've seen it, but I want to know more about it because it
Okay,
just looks awesome.
so yeah, they suckered me in with the can art on this one, and it's from Nip- Nipinthe Brewing Company out of Bmore, Baltimore, Maryland, and it is called Fastball Special. And on the can
It's
art
nice.
is one Logan Wolverine himself screaming in a berserker rage with his hair going crazy and his big wing eyes on it going forward. And it's an India Pale Ale at 5.8% alcohol with all the hops. So it's hopped with Chinook, Simcoe, Centennial, and Columbus. Then double dry hopped with Simcoe, Mosaic, Comet, and Centennial.
Holy shit! Got all of the hops.
So it should be called Hop Ball Special, I think, as much as
Yeah, yeah, no shit. Holy goodness. What was the ABV on that?
it's 5.8, so it's a standard kind of India Pale Ale, just
Yeah.
on a little bit on the weaker side, but a true India Pale Ale, not a double or anything over the top. But I've had a couple of them already, reading the comic book, getting ready for it. So
Oh, nice. It's important on Masterpiece Comics Theater to have sampled your beer.
yes,
Yes. I didn't do that though. But I agree with your decision. I would have done it if I were you too.
no, it's pretty solid, and yeah, the can art just steals it. I have yet to been to Nimpinthe and be more, but I need to go. I have yet to try any of the beers before this one. I've seen them on the shelves at the local organic grocery store where they have a pretty good craft beer selection. And this is the first time I tried one, and but I'll talk more about it when we get talking.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I brought a beer too. What do you
Oh, you
know?
did?
Yeah, I did. I did. Now, little disclaimer: there's no way I could have found a beer that's as on point to this show as you found. You just nailed it. You did great. My
This
beer,
is true.
yes, it is very true. You did it. Show's over. Show is over.
It's showing your lack of royalty from spending all expenses to cover a
I
Masterpiece Comics Theater with a proper
I
beer.
I know. So my beer is from a local brewery down here in Tampa. That's considered. Some people consider it one of the best breweries in the area, maybe even one of the best breweries in Florida. And it's the one brewery that I told myself I was going to get to this year, but I still haven't done it. So I still have about a month to go, and I will get there in the next month. But it's called Angry Chair Brewing. It is exactly 13 miles from my house. So I could, I could run there tonight if
Yes,
I wanted to. If I wanted
yes.
to.
You could track it across the air with just your sniffer, like a rabid bear, to hunt
I
down
could.
on that angry chair and put it out of its misery.
I could. So if you're in Tampa and you see someone running down 275, that's me. That's what I'm doing.
Sniffing for beer.
Sniffing for beer. Yeah. So my beer is called Short Story, which I think, of course, follows. This story is short, although wordy. Um, it's a brown ale coming in at 5.9%, and they call it a modern brown ale with notes of chocolate and coffee. And, I would imagine Wolverine smells like chocolates and coffee,
I think at
or
times he probably
and,
does.
and cigars. It has
And beer.
and beer. I don't have any information on IBUs. It's an untapped. It's coming in at about 3.97% or 3.97 in the ratings out of 5, which is decent. I think this beer just came out over the summer though. But I also like the can art. So the can art has a cowboy on it, but the cowboy kind of looks like Wolverine if this were a cowboy samurai story.
And in this story, he does wear a cowboy hat at the
He
beginning.
does, yeah. So he is kind of, you know, a cowboy samurai, I suppose, not a
And he
real
definitely
samurai.
would only sit in a chair that's angry. He would not sit
That's what I was
in a
gonna say.
happy
Like
chair.
any chair he sits in is automatically an angry chair.
Okay, okay. Let's see. Chairs. Rocking chair, angry chair, not angry chair.
Who's sitting in it? Wolverine?
No, just chairs.
Oh,
Angry or not
um,
angry.
I think
Rocking
that's
chair.
not angry.
Okay, I agree. Throne.
So if you're talking about the Iron Throne, that's an angry
Okay,
throne. So
yeah, I
I'll
was gonna
say
go with the
angry.
Iron Throne next. That's
Okay,
a Iron Throne. Definitely angry chair. Uh, Chair on the bridge of the Starship Enterprise.
not an angry chair.
Not an angry chair.
But the chair
Okay.
where number 2 sits, that's an angry chair.
Yes. um. Oh, the chair on Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Oh, the big chair?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I don't remember its name.
nothing in Pee-wee's Playhouse is angry.
I don't know.
Oh,
After Pee Wee
that
went to the
chair.
big house.
That's true. Did that chair
There's
talk
big.
too?
He went from the big top to the big house. So what was that name of that chair?
Cherry.
Cherry. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
On the point. Cherry. Not angry, although it has big teeth.
It has, yes, definitely has big, could be
Did
angry.
scare me as a kid. Like I thought maybe Cherry could eat somebody. Um, let's see. One of those ergonomic chairs where you put your knees down first.
Oh, that's angry.
That is, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Chair face from the Tick.
Oh yeah, angry.
Angry chair.
Yeah, yes. Folding chair.
Oh, folding chairs are definitely angry.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man.
metal ones, but not plastic
Yeah.
ones, right?
Not plastic ones.
It's the gamut of chairs right there.
Yeah. Metal ones made for hitting.
In fact, do metal folding chairs get used for sitting as much as they do get used for hitting?
I don't think so. I think that's their primary purpose is for
And
hitting.
and if I'm in the folding chair business, I probably make more off their uses as weapons than I do in the squared circle than I do selling a regular folding chair to like a church or something, right? Because
I
that when I
think
sell
so.
to a church gets
It's a one
used
timer.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one
Yeah.
sale, one forever.
Yep.
But I get
Hey,
I get
you
Stone Cold
need
Steve Austin.
right.
That's monthly sales coming in,
Yeah,
right?
you need your own factory, like a factory just dedicated to wrestling chairs, because you got Christian and Edge with the concerto. That's 2 chairs every time.
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely. I'm putting the kids through college if I get that sales lead.
Yeah, but this might also be the first beer I've ever had from Angry Chair. They have something that's in the supermarket, but it's a super hoppy IPA, and so you know, I haven't imbibed in those hops. Space Grass is what it's called.
Ah,
Oh, maybe, but yeah, it has some of the same hops that you're talking about. It has Simcoe and El Dorado. El Dorado.
if you didn't realize, we're also a podcast with a sitting problem. So, you know.
We are. So I got a new chair for work that I'm sitting in. Does it
Ooh.
does it look angry?
Oh, it's definitely, if it's a work chair, it's definitely angry.
It is. It's angry all the time.
there's,
That's its secret. It's always angry.
there's never a chair that you are at work sitting in that's ever happy.
Right.
That's the reason they're all hot seats.
That's a good point.
Angry
That is a
chair. Hot seats are always
ang-
angry.
Yeah, I'll have to ask the bartender because I'm sure he'll love me asking him how the brewery got its name. Bartenders love that stuff.
Then you can quiz him on our chairs to see if he
Yes.
agrees with
So
our
is this bar stool I'm sitting on an angry chair?
our stools are never angry.
They're not. They're at the bar.
Even when thrown in malice, they're not angry.
No, no, definitely not. All right, you want to crack these open?
Yes, yep. Let's get some beers in us.
Let's
We're already talking silly. So this comes in tall boy format, 16-ounce can. And you can smell all the hops immediately. There is no hiding the hops in this one. Now, if you ask me to tell a difference between all the hops and if I could pick out the different elements of hops, I doubt it.
Oh, I couldn't either.
But I may be able to pick out the mosaic. It doesn't have Citra, so I can always pick out Citra. But Chinook maybe. Yeah, but the difference when they dry hop them and put them in the wort, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I can always tell the difference with
Hmm.
that.
I can smell the coffee. I can taste the chocolate.
In this one, despite being overly effervescent of hops, it doesn't hop bite too bad on you because of the dry hopping they do on the back end. But it doesn't overpower you too with, like a double dip of IPA hoppiness. But I'm not sure if I feel like I'm being thrown in the air through a Russian organic steel covered man.
Well, let us know by the end.
Okay.
Yeah, I can smell the coffee, and then it had definitely, on the way down you can taste chocolate and some coffee, but then if I wait a few seconds, I can really taste the coffee.
I can smell the coffee from here, and I'm not even
You
in the
can?
same room with you.
Yeah.
I'm on the computer with you.
Well, that's some coffee.
But to get it started, we got the beers in us, and we can talk about this masterpiece of a comic. Like I said, this is Wolverine, number 1 through 4, appeared in June 1983 through September 1982. And it features two of the titans of the industry, even at that time,
Yeah,
and
Dream
even to
team.
today. Yeah. With the writer of Chris Claremont of X-Men fame and artist Frank Miller, who at the time was on his Daredevil run, um, tearing it all up. Inked by Joseph Rubinstein, colored by the wonderful Glynis
Mm-hmm.
Wheezy, letters by uh, Tom Orzechowski.
Close enough. Yeah.
Orshowski, yeah, Orshowski,
Orzechowski.
Orzechowski. Editor Louise Jones.
Yeah. And I read, reading about the history of this book, apparently Claremont and Miller were taking a cab together to San Diego Comic-Con, and they came up with the idea for this limited series. This is Wolverine's first ever solo limited series. Before then, he had only been in that issue of Hulk and then X-Men, essentially, maybe some other like guest appearances, but he'd never had his own featured series.
Yeah, he had not built the groundswell as a standalone superstar character until this series came out. So this is his debutante ball, as you will,
Mm-hmm.
for the
His coming out
Wolverine.
party.
Yeah. So, yeah, this one is the one that kicked it all off, and the two Titans teamed up to do this with other talented folks, and really kicked it off. And this is, uh, what could probably be, of the top five things, one of the number one thing I would say, this is the story that defined the Wolverine.
Yeah.
That, the line that you get on the best there is used in every issue, and this is the first time it's said, and now used every other time he appears by himself saying something.
Yeah, it's in the first 2 pages of every issue of this story too.
Yes,
But that was the way
and
at the time. Every issue is someone's first issue, so they like the first page or two of every issue is kind of like a reintroduction to Wolverine, and then a quick summary of what happened in the issue before. But yeah, he definitely they definitely were pushing the idea of he's the best he is at what he does.
and it's usually defined as something that's not pretty, or some undertone to killing, or
Yeah,
making stinky farts. I don't know.
yeah, getting down and dirty.
Digging down and dirty. But just to give you the broad overview of the story and why this defines him, this is the first time he's featured, solo by himself. Opens in Canada with him as a lone hunter tracking down a
Mm,
poisoned bear, and then we find out the bear itself had been poisoned by somebody hunting illegally, and he goes on a quest to correct that mistake with the hunter for not killing him. Involves him drinking beers,
yep.
of course, and getting into bar fights. Kind of sets that whole genre of Wolverine openers, where he's out in the woods in Canada, someplace in a nowhere known bar,
Yeah,
drinking beers.
yeah. He gets the bar fight was really cool too. He gets a beer smashed into his face, but then doesn't show any of the fight. It just they save Wolverine fighting for his trip to Japan in this.
Yes. And then we find out Wolverine has a love of his life in Japan that isn't writing his letters back, and we go across the world to Japan, and that's where the story really takes place. But the opening scene, makes him out to be the loner, the lone hunter,
Hmm.
and the way it's described in, I believe it is, the IGN review of this. He's, this is the first time we see Wolverine as the lost Ronin, the rogue lone Ronin that doesn't have a master, that can wander the world and
Yeah.
fight for what he wants. That he's got no master, so he's just a weapon without a direction. Whoever's there eventually be his master, points to kill. And that kind of, you find out about his past, that he
Hmm.
worked with the Japanese Secret Service, that he
Yeah.
had a love that involved a crime lord's daughter, and all these
Of
wonderful
course.
things.
Yeah. So it taking him to Japan. Wolverine's always had a mysterious backstory, so taking him to Japan just adds another layer to his mysterious backstory that nobody knew he had. I mean, I guess they probably alluded to some of it in the X-Men before, but they're able to open up this whole other like chapter of the character.
And it's also 1982, and ninjas were hot. So
Ninjas were hot, and no one in America
yeah,
knew anything about Japan in
yeah,
1982, so they could do whatever they wanted.
yeah. Just as long as you were going to talk about ninjas
Hmm.
and things, because we had American Ninja, Jim Nakata, all the great ninja movies coming out. Then kids were buying ninja outfits and ninja stars. You know,
Oh yeah, did you have a Ninja Star?
of course I had ninja
I had a Ninja Star
stars.
too. Mine was awesome, and then my friend stole it.
And we had one of those. We had plastic ninja stars with like a dartboard, like styrofoam.
Hmm.
You could throw the plastic ninja stars and practice with them.
Oh, I never had plastic. I only had the real
Uh,
thing. I went
yeah.
straight to
Oh,
the real thing.
because you're hardcore.
I am hardcore,
You're just
hardcore ninja.
you're a lost Ronin with no master and just one
Right.
ninja star.
In East Hampton, we only use real Ninja Stars. We didn't use that
And
fake Ninja Star shit.
I'm surprised you didn't call them the ninja stars by what their real name is, which is
I'm from East Hampton. We don't use fake names. We use real names.
you don't call them Shurikens.
Sorokin.
But we
No.
find out in this that Wolverine doesn't need to use weapons either, and he usually is not very good at it because he gets the crap beat out of him
Mm,
by his lover's husband or dad. Sorry, I should say. So we find out that he's in love with Mariko Yoshida of Clan Yoshida, who are one of the oldest
Hmm.
families in Japan. They can lay claim to the throne themselves, Emperor throne. But they also happen to be crime lords,
Of
with the
course.
head of the family being Lord Shingen Harada Yoshida.
Yeah, and Wolverine kind of stumbles into that. The father, Mariko's father, was long thought dead, but he comes back from the dead to claim his place at the head of the clan, and then demands his daughter marry some dipshit who she marries because of honor. There's a lot of the honor is a big theme in this story too.
Yes,
Everything everyone does for the most part is for honor, except Wolverine, pretty much. But
it's
even
all
even
it's
some of what he does is based on honor, but he's kind of the outsider in their world based on honor relationships.
yeah, it's all very set in the Japanese tradition of duty and responsibility, and yeah, you have your role and your part. You don't necessarily like that, but that's part of what you're supposed to do. And
Yeah,
yeah, she marries off a toady flunky from some other crime some other crime syndicate that beats her. That Wolverine promptly beats the shit out of him, as he
yeah,
should.
yeah. Um, one thing I never realized before reading this, I didn't know Wolverine knew how to write letters.
I didn't either.
I figured they would have all these holes in them, because
Yes.
he'd be writing them, get mad, whoops, stab through the letter.
Or does he use his claw and dip it in ink and
Oh,
it
like a
writes with
quill.
the yeah.
Can can
Very good
can
long hand.
can he has to be very gentle though, because adamantium just touching paper would probably go through it.
He's the best. That is what he does, and one of
It
those things
is.
he does is write letters.
Right. Well,
And
what
and
what is
and
something that adamantium can't cut through? He'd have to write it on vibranium.
yes. Or
Those are heavy letters.
how back in the day you had the three chalks that they would make the line
Yeah.
with on the wall to practice your penmanship.
Yeah.
That's how he learned. He would just carve on a rock the three
Yeah.
lines, and he'd sit there and practice real subtly. Look,
LOG.
the little lowercase don't go above the middle line. In the uppercase, got to go over the top and down. Yeah. He should have taught penmanship,
Mm-hmm.
cursive. Yeah,
Yeah,
kids
he missed his
these days,
calling.
do they have those? Still I doubt it.
No,
They don't.
they don't teach
They're
him
on the
cursive anymore.
they're on the iPad up immediately, right? They don't get the three chalks out anymore and doing the long
Mhm.
hands.
Yeah, no, they just do voice to text now.
Oh yeah. So that sets the stage, and then we get into a bunch of follies. Basically the whole story being Wolverine trying to get Mariko back, and then being set up as a patsy by Shingen to kill off people in rival clans. And we get another love interest in the crazy Yukio,
Yukio?
Yukio, who was hired by Shingen to trying to manipulate Wolverine into doing what he needs to do for the clan Yoshida, and
Oh yeah.
we romp all across
But
we
she
romp all
couldn't
across Tokyo.
she couldn't manipulate him because he's Wolverine. He's way too sexy.
And the reverse love affair happens where
Yep.
the short haired girl goes for the short haired dude with the crazy hair up top.
Yeah. He's just I mean, ladies everywhere. Ladies love Logan.
Yes.
LL cool L.
But part of this is they said in this backstory, he said this was the two masters at their art. So Claremont writes a lot to fill in the
Yes.
backstory of Wolverine, but then he will step back and let Miller tell a story graphically, especially when it comes to the violence and the fighting and things like
Mm.
that. And Miller uses a bunch of odd panels and layouts and everything, and it kind of just meshes together perfectly.
It does.
Um, yeah, and on top of that, you get Wheezy's coloring, which kind of makes an electric, neon Tokyo, what it would have been in the 1980s, right? The
Mhm.
electric town. having been to Tokyo, it's still that way with lights and makes New York City look dim. With all the crazy signs and neon and everything that they have. In Akihabara and Shinjuku and all those places. It's yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so be careful. Glennis Ween is not Wheezy. That's Louis Simonson.
Oh, at least I'm sorry. Yeah, Glennis Bean. Yeah, I'm
Before
sorry. I
we get all the
apologize.
hate, before we get all the
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
mail
I'm
from
sorry.
the
Yeah.
listener. Yeah, but I obviously, Frank Miller's fight scenes are well paced and just incredible, and especially during that time. I mean, he was the best at that. There was nobody better.
Yes, and it's kind of simplistic and blocky at times, but it works for telling an Eastern Western like this is.
Yeah.
That that's the story where we're it's a Western story with showdowns and honor and high noons, but
Hmm.
it's set in the East, right? And it works really well with the color and the shading, coming in at different things with the electric Tokyo lights and the shadow castings at different points, with the ninjas coming in and out,
Ninja.
and not and not and not once do they sing ninja rap.
I know. I know. I mean, well, so reading the story, you can tell that this story inspired the classic ninja rap.
Yes.
Because I'm reading it, I'm just thinking, go ninja, go ninja, go ninja, go. It's just going through my head.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
Ninja rap. But no, so that those are the you've got these two titans telling the definitive story that after this, Wolverine goes through the roof in
Right.
popularity, just like you know everything up, um, and it sets the background of we're going to keep creating an unfolded past for Wolverine, where you just learn a little bit more, but you don't learn enough. Like you learn he worked for the Japanese Secret Service, but they
Right.
never say what he did. You
Mhm.
find out he can write.
Yeah.
You can, yeah, yeah. But you find out, he's hanging out in bars in Canada by himself. These all the things that people want to know a little bit more about. You find out he knows a little bit about the Hand because they appear crossing over from Daredevil in this as
Hmm.
assassins.
Yeah. And this was a time too where Wolverine was in a way, getting too big almost for the X-Men books, right? Like there wasn't room in the X-Men books to tell these extra stories about Wolverine. So they had to kind of peel him off. And what I like about at that time, they don't do this anymore, but for continuity's sake, he wasn't in the X-Men books for a period of time, I'm pretty sure, while this was going on, just like when the X-Men were based in the Outback and Wolverine got his continuous series in Madripoor. He had left the Outback and he was just gone from the X-Men for, half a dozen issues at a time because he was doing his own thing. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that about these stories. You get that at the end where, oh, he's not with the X-Men because he had to send them a letter because he was getting, well, we'll leave the spoilers. We won't
Well, I
do
mean,
the
at the
spoilers
we
to
can
the
say,
end.
eventually the story unfolds where he fights for the hand of Mariko
Federico.
and kills off Lord Shingen and most of most of the hand that stand
And all
between
of
him
the
with
underworld of Japan.
yeah with the help of Yukio. And then at the end, you do get that, like you said, they allow him to go away to build more mystery, and he comes back, and even the X-Men don't know because he sends them a letter inviting them to come to his wedding. But it's not just a wedding invitation; it's from the Emperor of Japan.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was funny.
And you also get the appearance of the Manu Masame swords, which you
Hmm.
find out about Manu Masame, the swordsmith who made the samurai swords for Clan Ishida,
Yeah.
which Wolverine gets at the end for being the last honorable person. He tries to deny it, but Mariko's like, no, you know you I'm not going to kill you because you're the one that did something that was truly honorable. And erasing the stain that my father was and all that stuff. So
Did you read? I can't remember if you did, but X of Swords.
Yes.
Did you read the Wolverine crossovers
Yes.
where he goes to hell and the swordsmith is there in hell making swords for the hand?
Yes.
It was the same one, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
And
they
he
resurrected him and made him, just because he liked making swords so much. If I remember right, that he
mhm.
sold his soul to keep making swords to the demon lord of the hand.
Yeah. Yeah, and he make adamantium swords, I believe, for him and the other guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I thought that was a good story.
Yeah.
That was fun.
But yeah, that further unfolds, those little nuggets they tell in this one, appear later on. So you're just dropping breadcrumbs all the time with Wolverine for his backstory until
Mhm.
they blew it up later on. They told his origin story, which I don't recognize. Um,
Yeah. I mean, it's weird, and they told a little bit of it. I mean, back when after this came out, then they made the Wolverine solo series. Then they made the Marvel Comics Presents series that told the Weapon X story, and there were so many like different convoluted backstories. Some were real, and then some were staged, and then some were staged by him to be real because he was. It just all got way too confusing. I agree with you. It's better to have just like not revealed his past and just left it a mystery.
and then you can keep telling 4-part miniseries
Right.
forever and ever, and short stories, and drinking good beers like I'm drinking right now. This is very,
Hmm.
very uh, reminiscent of a Japanese hot day, and you know, cutting down your evil ninja lords with a centuries old sword.
Yeah.
It's got the
This beer.
sharpness
This
and a little tartness into it.
nice. Yeah. This beer I can see drinking it with a cigar.
Yes,
It
I
just
was.
has that kind of flavor.
It looks like, yeah, the perfect beer for drinking up in Canada after you take down some poachers
Yeah. Exactly.
using illegal.
That's what I'm doing on my walk to the brewery. I'm going to take down some poachers.
Yeah, and they go full circle with that, even where they Wolverine starts out by not using weapons, but at the end he does use weapons similar to the hunters used to hunt things, because he realizes
Hmm.
he's got to go hunting ninjas, and so that further adds to, he says, I don't usually use weapons, but now I got all these with me that I'm going to, which included a crossbow,
Yeah.
which would have to be
Yeah. That
similar to what he hunted the bear. The bear was being hunted with. So
right. Oh, that's a good point.
Wolverine becomes the bear. They were hunting him with the crossbow. That
Hmm.
he's the poison bear that's now gonna go kill everything. Uh-huh.
Ah. Oh, that Chris
Or or
Claremont.
or Lord Shingen's the poison bear that needs to be put down.
Yeah. Well, so and
One of those two. I gotta
they
talk to Chris Claremont about
yeah. Let's get him on. Let's get him on.
that.
So he would probably come on. I've heard him on a bunch of different shows. But yeah, so similar to the bear getting poisoned and left alive, right? And then the bear goes on a rampage. I guess I could have
Berserker
had
Rage.
yeah, Berserker Rage. I could have gotten the bears on Rampage for this show, which is a good beer from local brewery
Berry
too.
House.
Not Barry House,
No.
but it is from shit. I'll remember. Either way. So then Wolverine goes on a rampage through the Japanese underworld, killing everybody. Um, just like that bear went on a rampage through
Yes.
the Canadian wilderness.
Yes.
Hidden Springs Ale Works makes beers on
Ah.
rampage. Yeah, and
Which
then
also
so
brings us. Oh, sorry.
eventually Wolverine becomes, like you said, he becomes the hunter, so he flips the script.
After being poisoned, but
Yeah.
just like all other masterpiece comic books theaters, when we review them, which are usually a lot of times Batman issues,
Hmm.
one of our favorite things about Batman's what, K-Mac?
Oh man, Batman can take a beating.
And this time,
Hmm.
you don't, when we look at Wolverine now, when you read comics now, he can survive everything, doesn't get phased or whatever. Like, so much so that in Civil War, Nuke blows him up and he grows back basically from the skeleton of adamantium, and just like completely burned off, just a little bit of skin and flesh left.
And that was
But
enough. Yeah.
but now in this one though, They poison him, and he can feel it. It doesn't wear off immediately. He gets the shit kicked out of him by ninjas. He has to heal up,
Mhm.
and then bang.
Yeah. So then after healing up, he becomes the hunter.
And it starts off with Wolverine getting his ass handed to him by Lord Shingen Harada using wooden swords. And you're like, what? So much so that Wolverine goes into a berserker rage until he learns to control his rage and
Hmm.
focus it like a sword at the end
Ah,
to take over.
yes.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. This is a good story. I'm happy we read it.
Which reason it's a masterpiece.
It is. It is. And
And
and one thing that's always involved in a story when you have the hand is the law of conservation of ninjitsu.
yes,
The hand
please,
the hand is always testing the limits of that law.
yes,
Now,
please
we've mentioned
explain
it
that for
we've
the
mentioned it
listeners.
before on the show, but if
Yeah.
you're new, there's only so much ninjutsu energy in the world, let's say, for lack of a better term, or in a given place. So the more ninja you have, the less ninjutsu energy each one has because you have to divide it between as many ninja are in the room. So when you're fighting 20 ninja from the hand, they're just 1/20th of each of all the ninjutsu. Or if you just had one ninja, well, that's a tough ninja because he has all the ninjutsu.
Yeah, it's a localized like gravitational field.
Yeah.
Like there's globally, if the ninjas are all separated, they all are one ninjutsu level or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Hard, hard MF and ninja. But once they get close to each other, they kind of, you know, bind the outer rim electrons
Yes.
to get weaker
Exactly.
ninjutsu.
Science.
Yes, and this story leads into the movie The Wolverine
Hmm.
with Hugh Jackman. They take some liberties with it, of course, but the best scene in that movie is reminiscence of the ninja scenes where he's going towards the house in the snow for the big final showdown, and ninjas just
Yeah.
start coming out of everywhere, and he just starts putting them down because they lack full ninjutsu energy, as K-Mac pointed out.
But I was happy that the hand were in this. It's always nice to have their involvement. They're
Reading
fun.
about that, that's one of the nods that they do throughout the different time periods between Claremont and Frank Miller. So, you know, Chris Claremont wanted to bring in the hand here. Eventually, Chris Claremont duplicates um, um, Elektra with Psylocke wearing the
Yeah.
black outfit, and also eventually getting trained by the hand, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The hand
Like
is a big
Elektra.
part of the hand is essentially responsible for Psylocke's transformation, from what she was to the ninja assassin.
Yeah.
It was in the X of Vengeance issues for the X-Men with the Mandarin.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Super like um, fever dream Wolverine stuff going on there. There were a couple of issues during that time where Wolverine they were just about Wolverine and a fever dream.
Weirdly enough, Frank Miller didn't do a whole lot of Canadian stories to set with Daredevil like he should have.
Yeah, yes,
But
Daredevil Canada.
yeah, but in the Daredevil book, he goes to Josie's bar, and the first bar in this one is Josie something in
Oh
the
yeah.
Canadian wilderness.
No,
So
Wolverine doesn't drink any beer in this. I don't agree with that. I think they missed something.
he drinks beer at the beginning, right?
No, he just gets beer smashed in his face.
Oh, well, he was at the bar. He had to have a couple beers.
He probably did off panel, I'm sure. I guess the thing is, there's just so much beer, they couldn't waste the space.
And there's no way the Japanese Secret Service agent did not meet him at the airport with a sixer of
Yeah,
Sapporo
yeah,
or Kirin.
yeah,
Well, buddy, Wolverine's in town. We're gonna get drunk.
yeah.
We're gonna get Salaryman drunk. Now that is a thing. When I was in Japan and I went to the little 3-seat bars on what they call the drunkard street or the drinking streets, and
Mhm.
the salarymen, they don't get off much time, so when they go out party and they party hard, and I ended up sitting next to a guy who found out was from the U.S.
Oh
At the
wow.
time, Obama was president, so he spoke a little bit of English, but mainly most of his words were to look at me and say, "Obama."
Oh, Obama. Nice.
every 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 time he looked over at me while I was trying some whiskey, and the bartender was like, "He'll go home eventually," but it was not before there was at least 20 Obamas towards me. Sometimes President Obama.
Oh wow.
And I was like, I am not President Obama.
You do resemble him, and your
I
voice
do.
is close. Your voice is close.
I'm quite the orator, I know.
You are the orator, yes.
I can turn a phrase every once in a while, but yeah. I know. We
That's
Americans all
hilarious.
look the same.
We
But
do. We do. We all look the same. When you came on to do the podcast, I was like, Barack? What? You're not supposed to be here. Leave. I need yak.
how, how did you get away from Michelle? Don't you got things to do?
Yeah, I know.
Let me tell you something, Kevin. Came back.
There you go.
I can talk comic books. I can talk comic books with anybody. I like a good beer, good old silent Chicago beer.
Well done.
Yeah, that's the way I talk to the salary man drunk.
No wonder.
Yeah.
You had him confused.
completely. But definitely Tokyo, drinking town, great beer. I went to a craft brewery there also. It was run by a couple of Americans from upstate New York.
Oh,
It
of
was pretty
course.
solid. Yeah.
Nice.
It had a Japanese cream ale. It was pretty good.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Is it like a rice ale, but a cream ale? Because
Well, it was just a
don't they?
cream ale that they made in Japan, so I called it Japanese
Okay,
cream ale.
gotcha. All right,
it, it,
because
it,
most of the Japanese beers are right, or the lagers are rice, aren't they?
not all of them. Some
Mm.
have rice in them, some of them don't. The big thing in Japan is there's a tax on
I remember you explaining this
malt
once.
content in your beer. So they have like low malt beers. They call it something I can't remember what it's called, but they drink a lot like a Miller Lite or something, or a
Gotcha.
Coors Light's more like what they taste like.
That's why our
But then they
podcast
have
is so expensive in Japan because of all the
yes.
malt we have.
Oh, we
We're
are
malty.
we literally you don't go over there. You trade malt for electronics there. You just go in with a wheelbarrow of malt. You're walking out with PlayStation 89. So
Nice, nice. Oh. But so eventually in this story, Wolverine does defeat uh, Mariko's father. He uses his claws versus the sword, and he defeats him. And uh, it so happens to turn out that before that doesn't Wolverine kills her husband too.
oh yeah,
Yeah, so he's dead. The father's dead. He thought Mariko was going to take the sword and kill herself with it,
out of honor, yeah,
out of
or
honor,
kill him,
or
vengeance.
claim, or kill him and then claim to be head of the Yoshida clan. But instead, she gives him the sword, and then the emperor says they should get married.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just like
how
that.
it works.
Just like
Them's
that.
Japanese rules.
Yeah, rules of honor. So you can go and
After
just murder all these people, and it's okay.
after he murdered all those people, do you think he would have had beer?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Absolutely.
thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
And the final big five thing that we liked about this is, as a kid, even seeing these on the newsstand, the single focus, no real splash, kind of dull background colors with just Wolverine in single area pose, were amazing.
Yeah.
Especially with the first one being, the look of "come here, kid, buy me this book."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah, they're all great covers, yeah, and they're definitely different from a lot of the covers of the time because there's no word balloons or thought bubbles, and there's no action scenes going on in these
no,
covers. It's just like you said, singularly focused on Wolverine. Just like, oh, it definitely catches your attention for that.
what's he doing up to the number 4 where he's holding the crossbow, smoking a stogie.
Yeah.
Most likely having a dark beer like you.
Oh, exactly. So which of the covers is your favorite?
Either one or four.
Yeah, I like either 4 or 2, but yeah, I mean, they're all really good.
Yeah.
I can't say I don't like the first cover.
Well, three's good because it shows like a beat down,
Yeah.
humble Wolverine, which is great. You know, a remorseful Wolverine.
Yeah, it's so number 1, like you said, is saying come by me. Number 2, he's in his berserker phase. Number
Yeah.
3, he's been defeated,
Yep.
and number 4, he's the hunter.
The hunter. But no, yeah, it's the four arc covers that tell the whole story enough that you're like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, this is pretty solid, and
Yeah.
they're great. Great coloring, great lighting, but simple, understated. Two tone colors behind the figuring of Wolverine.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like we were saying before, I'm pretty sure I've read this, but it's probably been 20 years or more.
Yes. So overall, this is reason it's a masterpiece
It
of
is.
comics.
Absolutely.
To get one of your favorite lowbrow fancy beers, mine being the fastball special that goes really well with it. I can taste the Simcoe hops, I think,
Oh,
and maybe a little bit of Centennial. But that's all I got. But it's a tart, not overly hoppy beer. And it's a little hazy because they do the dry hopping, but overall just super drinkable. Maybe not the best after it gets a little cold in the air, so maybe
hmm,
not the best for winters up in Canada, but
okay. Why do you think they called
definitely a
it
beer Logan would.
fastball? You think they called it a fastball special to sell it?
I think they just got the can art and they're like, God
Mm,
damn, we gotta
mm,
we gotta
mhm.
go with that because it is a singular focus Berserker Rage
Yeah,
can art with the bread and everything. They don't say it's Wolverine and everything, and they kind of hide it enough. But the colors and scheme and everything, you can tell. He's wearing the yellow, the brownish yellow and black costume.
yeah, that's a great can.
Yeah. Did
Yeah,
you much,
and
sir?
yeah, mine. Mine was really good. I don't know how much you would like it because it's definitely coffee leaning. I know that those aren't your favorite,
No.
but it is smooth. It doesn't have that sharp coffee taste, and you know this was a short story. The beer is called Short Story.
It
I mean, it has
ties it all
cowboy.
together.
It has Cowboy Logan on the can, smoking a cigar. There we go.
Two beers featuring can art with Logan on it. How's that possible?
I don't know. It's just that's what we do. That's what we do here on this show. We bring you Logan can art for Wolverine episode. No one
if
else can
there's
do
if
that.
there's only one thing we do, it may not be entertain you, but
Yes,
it definitely is. We can
we
talk
get
about a chair.
beer. We
We can
get
talk
beer.
about a chair, and we can get can art that resembles comic book characters.
Yes, yes. That's what we bring
Can
to you.
comic books.
Yes. Sitting down. Cool, cool.
All right. So if you liked what you heard today, guys, you can email us at cbcopodcast@gmail.com. Like all our X and Twitter pages posts, which we will show you our favorite can arts of our beers. So you can judge for themselves how Logan-y they are or Wolverine they are at CBCO underscore podcasts or on comic books underscore cold ones on Instagram.
Yeah, and shoot us an email. Let us know what you think. If you have any beer suggestions or show suggestions, or even if you're a creator and you want to come on the show, let us know. We've done such things before.
Or if you would like to play Angry Chair, Not Angry Chair, the new game show that's going to sweep the
Yes,
nation.
yes, it's coming soon to a theater near you.
to
We're coming
to
live to do it.
to the sitting channel.
Sitting channel. All right, everybody, sit safe. Have a good night.